Namaste, and welcome to the path. Dharma Talks. First Yogin Talks. Today I'm going to talk a little about Pratyahara. So, Pratyahara means sensory withdrawal. It's the fifth limb of the eight-limbed path of traditional Indian yoga. It leads directly to POA, which is the sixth yoga of Naropa, or yoga of Naguma in Tibetan yoga. They all mesh. They mesh perfectly together. Yoga Nidra is dream yoga, and so on and so on. So, the guy named Patanjali, 5,000 years ago, I recently found from my yoga master buddy, I used to say 2,500 years ago, but he says he has evidence that it's 5,000 years ago. So you may notice that discrepancy, and I'm going to go by what he says. So 5,000 years ago, a dude named Patanjali. Patanjali is where prayer hands came from. Anjali is this mudra. It's called Anjali mudra. And it's also where the name angel came from. You know, like Christian monastics went to India and thought the word mal and mala meant rose and brought that back. And Jesus lived in India for 10 years. He learned to teach there, and then he came back to his homeland to teach, relative to his culture. So, the eight-limbed path, it's getting back to the eight-limbed path. The first two limbs are how you treat yourself and how you treat others, stopping the outflow of dark karma. Third is asana, and asana primarily means to take your seat in meditation. Secondarily, it means the postures that we do. Fourth is pranayama, breathing and breathing techniques. There are hundreds of them. And some work in India and don't work here, and vice versa. You need someone who has a command of it to know how to guide you in the more advanced pranayama. And so fifth is pratyahara. And the top four in general are internal. And the first four are external, but one transitions to internal. And pratyahara would be that. So it means sensory withdrawal. And the other three limbs, by the way, they're more absorptive states of meditation, one-pointedness, and samadhi, which is an absorptive state. So we're talking about pratyahara. And pratyahara, once experienced, it's what you would call, a game changer. I don't use that word that often, but that's what it is on the path of yoga and dharma. Because once you experience pratyahara, the sensory withdrawal, you realize that all the things that you read about that advanced yogis have practiced, or Tibetan Vajrayana masters have practiced, or Zen masters, you realize they're possible because you've experienced this which can't be measured really that much by instruments. So I'm going to give the Nova Scotian, the Western instructions for Pratyahara. And I mentioned it to Yogi Ji this summer, and it's culturally different than the instructions that are given in India, but it meets our culture. So, in an absorptive state of shavasana or meditation, by the way, pratyahara is sensory withdrawal. It can be experienced in life. It can be experienced a potent sense of connection or love. All of a sudden, you can't feel your arms, and to try to move them is like concrete. That's pratyahara. That's one of the stages of pratyahara. So I'm going to start from zero. So, as you're in an absorptive state and you're letting go, basically you're essentially letting go of the physical body itself. The first stage is you start to feel weak, and we don't like that. So we're a drop in the ocean of consciousness. Ocean of consciousness is our primary nature. The drop is the person. We're letting go of the person, and we're moving into the ocean. We're putting the drop in the ocean. But because of our attachment to our physical body, which is the last attachment that there is, so be kind to yourself if you're attached to the physical body. It's the most advanced attachment to cut. So we start to feel weak. As we let go of the physical body, it feels weak, and we don't like that. You have to keep moving. You have to keep letting go further, and then you'll feel this swooning feeling, this slight dizzy feeling. So the prana is starting to flow. The next step is, if you're lying there or sitting there, it feels like you're moving. It feels like you're on a roller coaster, or you're flying through the air. Energy is moving all over your skin. It's why we like roller coasters and bicycles. We like that experience because it reminds us of this natural state. So prana is flowing more. And now the next stage, the third stage, is you feel heat at the level of skin. Prana is flowing more. The scientists call this theta waves, and it's what's artificially induced with acupuncture. I can't remember half this stuff. And if we feel that warm feeling at the level of skin, certain grape varietals of red wine give us that feeling at the level of skin, the heat. It's artificially producing the third stage of pratyahara. And the fourth stage of pratyahara is you start to not feel the limbs. When you perfect the fourth stage, you only feel an energy here. And again, even if you feel part of that last stage, then that's the game changer. So I'm going to go over this again, so I can go over it a little quicker now. The first stage in letting go of the physical body itself is the body itself starts to feel weak. Keep going, and then you'll notice a slight swooning feeling, a slight dizzy feeling. The next stage is it feels like you're moving in midair, like energy's rushing by your skin. It's like a tingling. And prana is flowing more. Next stage is heat at the level of skin. Prana is flowing more. Next stage is you start to not to feel your limbs, and it's okay for the breathing to get shallow here. That's encouraged. So at the level of so when you start to let go of the body itself and you only feel this energy here, that's a profound absorptive state where you can recognize what's natural. So, again, it can be experienced through very potent experiences in our lives, climbing a mountaintop, or someone saying they love you, or you meet someone for the first time and something happens where you have connections in previous births. But pratyahara is very profound, and it's ordinary too. It's important to realize it's not special. It's ordinary. So I hope these mumbled, today I'm mumbling a bit, I hope these mumbled instructions help you on the path of yoga and dharma. Namaste.